and bringing you all the action, anchorman Gerald de Kock, and joining him will be Roelof van Riet, winner of this great event 3 times between 1969 and 1971.
Every second year, Pietermaritzburg is the start of the Comrades Marathon. However, every January, it is also the start of one of the country's other most grueling endurance events, and that is the Dusi Canoe Marathon. This year is the 42nd running of this 3-day event from Maritzburg to Durban, and some 1,200 competitors have gathered at the Kampsdrift Canal for the event. Conditions in the river are very low and should favour the strong runners in the field.
I think the Dusi is very much an individual race. It's very much you and the river, and you just have to look after your own body. You don't have to worry about the other competitors, and I think you just get yourself into trouble worrying about other competitors.
I think the running is going to play a big part today, but there are a lot of strong runners up front, so I think it'll be quite a tight race. There are a couple of guys you've got to look out for, and John's obviously got a reputation of doing really well in this sort of water. So I think that the idea is just to stay as close to John as possible, not let him get too far on the end of the first day.
No, I don't think I'll be up there with the top boys, but I sincerely hope I'll be in the first 10. But today is going to be rather a difficult day. It's going to be scrambling over those rocks and watching you don't sprain your ankle.
Whether you're a leader or whether you're a follower, pre-race preparation for an event of this magnitude is absolutely vital.
Ja, net so belangrik op die bal as op die water. Die son, nou ja, en die skuur. Daai bote aan die skouers nog baie seer maak.
Support team is vital, and so is the loosening up of every joint in the body.
Ja, nog baie pyn, hè. Hy man lyk of hy nou al 'n paar het, maar dit gaan nog baie seerder word. Ja, die warmste kanoewedvaart in die land in vele opsigte, die son en die beskerming teen die son hier van die allergrootste belang. Om die vog te behou en ook natuurlik om jou vel te beskerm.
Over the years, the ladies' race has been dominated by the brilliant twins Jenny Bentel and Marlene Lowenstein on the right here.
Basically, I'm not really prepared for a low river, but I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm quite a lot lighter than most of the guys, so I think I'll get through a lot more things. I just won't run as much as the top guys. I think I'll seem to stay in the river more.
Once again, a good Maritzburg crowd out to watch the start at Kampsdrift Canal. And some final encouragement from the seconds. The race beginning in batches. This A batch of 40. You see Graham Popelis there, another of the favourites, Gavin Tarr, Kevin White far right there, and a nice broad start for them.
Ek spring altyd baie belangrik. Vandag nie soseer om 'n goeie glystroomposisie te kry nie, maar om 'n goeie posisie in die nou water onderkant die Peers keurwal te kan behaal.
Always an opportunity for the big sprinters to build up a head of steam here and get to that Ernie Pierce weir first.
Mark Perro, die vinnigste man op water, sekerlik in Suid-Afrika op die oomblik, en verlede jaar se wenner onmiddellik voor. Graham Popelis aan sy linkerkant. Ja, vir jaar is nie Mark Perro se water nie, so mens kan werklik nie verwag dat hy gaan presteer nie, maar hy is eerste by die Ernie Pierce keurwal.
Yes, winner with Neil Evans of the K2 section last year, the privilege of going down in Fish Run first, followed by the rest of the quality Dusi field.
Tweede groep, nou ja, vir hulle net so belangrik. 10 minute spasie agter die voorlopers. En die wegspring vir hulle op hulle beurt presies net so belangrik.
The Mgeni Water Authority testing the water. The E. coli count over the years has been of some concern, and they're keeping a close eye, as is Marlene Lowenstein on the start line. She is in B batch together with another 40-odd top-class paddlers, and away they go.
Ja, om 'n goeie posisie te behaal, maar ook miskien omdat mense is maar geneig om te vergeet hoe lank dit gaan wees.
Weather conditions on this first day were absolutely ideal, heavily overcast.
Ja, die Dusi kan een van die groot vyande van die kanoevaarders as jy het vir jaar werklik nie 'n probleem. Nie te moeilik nie, maar jy moet baie seker maak dat jy nie dwars draai nie, en daar is 'n man, hy maak die fout, dit gaan nog baie gebeur op pad af Durban toe. Nie 'n te groot probleem.
more water than was expected coming over the Oni Pierce Weir, making the shooting of the fish run a little more easy.
Maar net omdat die sluise oopgemaak is, die rivier self is baie leer as wat dit hier lyk. Hierdie water ook eintlik net beskikbaar vir die eerste 20 minute of so.
So a very tough first day lies ahead for the paddlers, and this is how it looks. The first major obstacle, well, the portage through Campbell's Farm.
Ook die langste op die wedvaart, styl op en af skuins. Lydia, een van die voorlopers, sy knie gebreek. Hole in the wall. Kort na Campbell's eerste werklike ondervinding van die rivier self.
Guinea fowl portage.
Op en af, belangrikste probleem daar is eintlik dat jy styl opdraan, dan styl af, weer styl moet opgaan en dit maak het moeilik.
Mission Rapid.
Einde naal in sig en nou kom die langste draaipunt op die eerste dag. Cabbage Tree, lang styl, beide op en af.
Close to the finish, Dusi Bridge.
Ja, daar kan probleme jou inwag kort voor die einde, sterk terugstroom as het ware en dinge kan gevaarlik raak.
Back with the leaders, and the first man approaching low-level bridge was last year's K2 winner and Olympian Mark Perro, who will take out at low level.
Hier is hy nog gelukkig, maar ek dink van hier af, nou ja, nou kom die pad en dis nie werklik sy kos nie.
And all the others start piling out of the water and heading off. There are two routes, and this is a crucial stage in the race. Decisions have to be made. And race favourite John Edmonds is going to take an unusual route.
Waarschijnlijk omdat amper vals water is wat daar vandag is, vanweer die sluise wat oopgemaak is, eintlik nog geen reën verjaar nie. En niemand kon lekker bepaal verjaar, anders as in ander jare, wat nou juist die vinnigste route is.
And that unusual route was to cost John Edmonds dearly, and instead of making up ground, which is what he hoped to do, it was to cost him almost 5 minutes on the leaders.
Iets wat natuurlijk fataal kan wees, op hierdie wedvaart is 'n besonderse lang wedvaart vanweer die lae vlak, so hy het 'n kans om in te haal, maar dit gaan moeilik wees.
Meanwhile, the remainder of the field head up the more conventional way towards Bishopstowe Hall, and the man who came out in the lead was Kevin White, a young man who's worked terrifically hard at his running in preparation for this race. He's done this before, but has blown on the first day, but here he's looking very, very strong on the run.
2 jaar gelede het met die vorige enkelwedvaart het John Edmonds hom ingehaal nadat hy ook voor weggetrek het. Nou ja, John Edmonds is op 'n ander roete. Vandag gaan ons moet sien wat gaan gebeur.
Turning off the main road and down past Bishopstowe Hall, heading off to Campbell's Farm.
Dis nie 'n maklike manier van hardloop daai nie. Jy's ongemaklik, jy's ongebalanseerd. Daar's wind. Dis bietjie anders as die Comrades, maar is amper net so ver.
Man in second place is Gavin Tarr, who finished second in the K2 race last year.
Ja, jy kan sien hy beer. Hy's 'n sterk hardloper, ook 'n sterk roeier.
James Leslie, young man, again, lots of talent. Shane Wilson in the green, and there you can see the familiar figure of Graham Popellis, the Dusi King, in 5th place.
Amper ongelooflik, en natuurlik hierdie wedvaart pas hom, en daar sleep die manne. Sommige so in die hardloop. Dit help altyd afdraand om te kan sleep. Jy moet versigtig wees, veral op die rowwe terrein, maar dit is vinnig.
Where's the water? Water? Where's the river? Vegas, man.
Mark Perro, ja, hy hou meer af van op die water.
Well, he was soon to get an opportunity to get back into the water and rest the weary legs. A short paddle it is from Hole in the Wall, and that'll take them through to yet another portage on this tough first day, the Guinea fowl portage.
Wedvaart word meer dikwels as nie, althans op die eerste dag in elk geval, hier gewen of verloor.
As Kevin White comes up, Guinea fowl still in the lead, and at this stage his lead was looking fairly solid at 4.5 minutes. And the rest of them were pretty close on his heels. John Edmonds going out of picture, then Pope Ellis and Gavin Tarr there as well.
baie steiler as wat dit lyk die manne kry swaar.
And James Leslie opting to drag down the road. Craig Norris taking on lots of water, so important.
Die probleme is die aanhoudende op en af, die verskillende spiere, jy kom net, jy kan eintlik nie bra in 'n ritme inkom nie, dan moet jy weer verander. En dis links en is regs en is op en is af en dit is nimmer eindig.
So the leading paddlers just over halfway through this first day. Meanwhile, those many hundreds of paddlers still struggling up towards Bishopstowe, and welcome water being taken on by some willing volunteers.
Bietjie agter ons begin later en maak ook veel later klaar is die voorste manne. So het 'n selfs groter probleem.
As you can see, conditions really not quite as harsh as they have been in the past.
Daar is 'n moeilike paadjie en hy draai skerp, maar dit stop nie die manne om teen volspoede af te kom.
It's Dusi vets Keith Elliker.
Ek van die stylstukkies en kan baie warm word. Onder in hierdie dongas is daar baie min wind en dit is baie warm.
Well, the ladies' race has been dominated over the years by Marlene Lowenstein, but as you can see here, she took an awful tumble early on Campbell's Farm Portage when her canoe struck a fence wire while she was portaging, and she crashed into the cockpit, cracking her nose rather seriously.
Miskien nie 'n vrou se werk nie, maar sy doen dit baie goed.
Up ahead, Kevin White is putting in at the foot of the Cabbage Tree Portage with a very handy lead indeed, close to 7 minutes, and now a straight paddle.
Ja, nie heeltemal so reguit nie. Dis verpligte roei van hier af, maar hy gaan nog sy ding moet ken hier af en as steeds baie min water.
Second will leave him and meet him at the end of the first day, whilst behind him John Edmonds is making a terrific effort to make up the ground that he lost earlier on and is chipping away at that lead as Kevin White heads towards Dusi Bridge.
Dusi brug waar verlede jaar soveel drama was toe die voorlopers omgeval en teruggesuig is. Die keerwal, maar nie vandag nie, hulle speel veilig, daar is eenvoudig nie genoeg water om die keerwal te skiep nie. En Kevin White dra en die einde is nou in sig.
Yes, the young Natal Canoe Club paddler puts the disappointing first days behind him to come home in just over 3.5 hours. A very fine effort.
Wel, verdient, die vraag nou is hoe ver John Edmonds gaan agter wees en of hy dit kan opmaak.
Well, he was at one stage over 8 minutes behind, but a very good last quarter of this stage has hauled that lead back, and he finds himself just over 4 minutes behind the man.
Die ongelooflike Graham Pope Ellis, steeds daar, toestande, pas om soos 'n handskoen, derde plek en eerste veteraan by 'n myl.
And no doubt proud of his protege and partner, Kevin White.
I was feeling very comfortable from the start. The last run I was starting to take strain. Getting into the boat and running and getting in and running again, it takes a lot out of one. And today we worked out there must have been about 25 k's of the 32 was running with the boat. So it was really tough and we're tired now.
The first woman home, Marlene Lowenstein, despite that nasty injury.
When I run with my canoe, I run with a harness, so I have my head inside the cockpit. And my vision's not that good, and I can see probably about 6 foot ahead of my feet. And I forgot about an overhead wire on Campbell's, on one of the gates, and I hit the wire with the nose of my boat and just fell flat on my face, and hit my face inside the cockpit and actually broke my cockpit. And I didn't feel well after that.
As Marlene was whisked away for surgery, the men at the back of the field were battling away, and they were still hours away from the finish.
Ek was optimisties, waarskynlik geglo dit gaan reën, en nie werklik voorberei vir 'n lae riviervlak soos hierdie.
For many of them, it's queuing all day. They have to cross rivers, cross fences, and ultimately, possibly, queuing to get into the medical tent.
You got it? Yeah. Right. Sock off, that'll help. Okay, you always start before. What?
So John Edmonds, 4 minutes and 5 seconds behind Kevin White. Graham Popella, 7:44, and Gavin Tarr, nearly 15 minutes behind the leader. In the old days, it was compulsory to camp down in the valley for the paddlers. Nowadays, just a hardy few take that opportunity, even in the pink tents. Well, just another day on the river for this man.
That's coffee.
Of course, you can't paddle on an empty stomach.
Wil nie opstaan nie, maar hy moet.
But of course, the leaders have been up a lot earlier because they set off first thing with last-minute repairs being done to boats and tension on the face of race leader Kevin White. Just 2 minutes before White was to leave, Graham Popellis, the third-place paddler, realized that he had a frayed rudder cable and he had but 9 minutes to repair it. Meanwhile, Kevin White set off on day 2 with a 4-minute lead.
Dit vlak soos gister. Maar die voorlopers natuurlik een van hulle groot voordele bo die agterosse is die feit dat hulle sodanig spoed opbou dat hulle ware letterlik bo die versperrings in die vorm van rotse en dis meer kan hop.
The defending K1 champion John Edmonds sets off in pursuit of White.
Dan altyd stadig, maar as hy eers spoed opbou dan hou hy dit daar.
7 minutes and 44 after Kevin White, Graham Popellis was due to leave. He misses his elapsed time start as wife Wendy assists in the repairs of that rudder cable.
Duidelik, nou finaal duidelik dat hy nie sy soveelste Dusi gaan wen nie.
He finally gets it ready 5 minutes after his scheduled start and sets off just ahead of the man who's in 4th place, Gavin Tarr. Well, many of the paddlers will have to wait close to 3 hours before they get their canoes into the water.
Die tweede dag anders waar die Dusi nou in die veel groter Umgeni invloei, die slide, Ibis Point, stroomversnellings, heel wat groter is die Dusi self. Bietjie van alles op die tweede dag. Daar het ons een van die werklike taaibulte, Ngomeni, baie styl op, baie styl af, tweede stylste bult op die Dusi. Nog 'n stroomversnelling, die Barracks en hier verlede jaar die eerste 3 bote, soos daar ook die geval is met die Edmonds broers, dit nie gemaak nie.
And so to a new feature over the last 2 years of the Dusi, the Ananda Dam, a 12-kilometer flat paddle to the second overnight stop. At the Saddles Portage, back among the leaders, Graham Popellis and Gavin Tarr battling for 3rd place.
Dit's op pad na die Umgeni. En Kevin White volley. Die terrein is ongemaklik en die terrein is sag en dan hard.
Has been running so well during this Dusi, but behind him, John Edmonds, well, he will hang in there all his worth. Just 4 minutes and 41 seconds behind, and back into the water.
Pad na die volgende draaipunt en baie min water. Feitlik nie 'n kanaal om te kies nie. En vandaar dan ook die feit dat Kevin White hardloop, so ook John Edmonds. Begin van Ngomeni, baie lank, baie ver, tweede stylste bult op die Dusi. Die wedvaart kan hier baie maklik gewen of verloor word.
John now 4 minutes and 15 seconds behind Kevin White going up Ngomeni Hill. And a further 9 minutes behind them, Gavin Tarr and Graham Popellis begin the long grind up the hill.
Waarskynlik die stryd vir die derde plek. Ons kan nie sien dat die voorlopers ingehaal kan word nie.
Meanwhile, way back at the start of the second day, Marlene Lowenstein sets off.
Massa wegspring vir die manne verder terug en so nou rivier skep dit sy eie probleme. Al vir die agterosse hier meer bedrewe, dis die tweede groep. Maar ook hier is die draai maar moeilik.
Well, the leaders have Numeni behind them, but those paddlers who have just set off have at least 2 hours, if not more, to go to cover it. But up ahead, we still have a terrific battle. There's John Edmonds back in the water after Numeni.
Kevin White, jou draai ken een fout natuurlik kan jy ook die wedvaart kos. Het vat nie baie om hierdie baie ligte canoes te kan breek nie.
John Edmonds going through to Mfula Store. Now just 3 minutes and 25 seconds behind Kevin White.
En realisties sy laaste kans nou om die wedvaart te wen.
Well, just a kilometre short of the Ananda Dam, you can see the river splits in two there, and Kevin White has decided to go down the left-hand channel, a very narrow and obviously very shallow one. And he certainly has problems. Meanwhile, still 3 minutes behind him, John Edmonds has gone down the fuller right-hand channel and has found the going much more to his liking.
John Edmonds wat nie sy oë sal kan glo, die eerste maal wat hy vir Kevin White sien, is die op die wal.
A really dramatic turn in Dusi, and well, it seems to do it every year in some way or another, as that is the dam just ahead of Kevin White as he puts in.
Selfs die voorlopers raak oorhaastig. Kevin White vroeg in, Edmonds te vinnig. Uiteindelik by mekaar, baie angstig by mekaar te kan uitkom, want die glystroom speel hier 'n baie groot rol op die dam. En daar is hulle langs mekaar.
For a moment, John Edmonds tried to get away, but there's an 8-kilometre haul through to the finish, and well, they have to work together to get there.
Die wedvaart suiwer tussen hierdie twee nou. Elke sekond tel steeds. Die wedvaart die afgelope paar jaar word dikwels net met 'n sekond of 2 gewen.
Into the second day finish, and Kevin White just edging home by a second ahead of the defending K1 champion John Edmonds. What a race we've got on our hands now.
Baie takties gaan dit wees. Hulle gaan saam wegspring. Vriende hier, maar hulle dink waarskynlik reeds aan môre.
And the battle for third place, although a long way back, almost 18 minutes. Gavin Tarr coming in third place. He has had a terrific day, the best time of the day, and Graham Popellis on his wake.
45 gaan hy nie die jaar die Dusi vir die 16de maal wen nie, maar steeds ver voor in die veterane afdeling.
Back we drift some kilometers down the river, and we find the men and women who've been battling and will be fighting against this river for many, many more hours.
Sommige van hulle meer as 8 uur op die water, verskof, die water en op die wal.
As you can see, some of those K2s only having one person in them because the river is so low.
Ja, dikwels is die een vernoot letterlik 'n kilometer weg van die man wat roei. Een hardloop, een roei en dan ontmoet hulle weer 'n rivier af.
As they approach the slide, well, some of them stay on the road, others take a somewhat more exciting route in the river.
Steeds nou en vlak, maar minstens vinnig.
Back onto the Ananda Dam, and Marlene Lowenstein, after that awful fall on the first day, has had a terrific second day. She's still a proverbial mile ahead of the second lady paddler as she finishes the second day. Kevin White then, well, that lead of 4 minutes at the start of the day, now just 1 second. Gavin Tarr and Graham Popellis will way out the race. And a sterling effort from Marlene Lowenstein, 56th position overall. Once again, as after the first day, the medical people are kept very, very busy. Rub down after day 2, but day 3 promises to be an exceptionally exciting one, as there's just 1 second between the first 2 paddlers.
Oh, with just 1 second separating the 2 leaders, Kevin White and John Edmonds, the scene was set for a battle royal on the 3rd and last day. We take up the story of the race on the final day of the Dusi.
Before we take a look at the last day of this magnificent event, let's look back at the first 2 days. Cloudy, cool conditions saw the first batch of paddlers leave, a batch of 40, including the defending champions, Mark Perot and Neil Evans, both in K1s, as this is, of course, a K1 event. Graham Popellis is there, so is the race favourite, John Edmonds. First man over the Ernie Pierce weir, which is carrying slightly more water than expected, was Olympic paddler and defending champion Mark Perot. And indeed, he was first out of the water with a grin at low-level bridge. But unfortunately for the Springbok, that was where his paddling was to end and his chances in this year's Dusi. The rest of them took to the road, including John Edmonds, the favourite, going a shortcut route, a real gamble that for him didn't pay off, because Kevin White, a young man who's been under the tutelage of Graham Popellis, the Dusi King, came out at Bishopstowe Hall as the leader by a comfortable margin of almost 3 minutes, as they turned down Bishopstowe Hall to head for Campbell's Farm. The man in second place was Gavin Tarr, many people's favourite for this title. And as they headed up to Guinea Fowl, once again, it is young Kevin White leading the field. Defending K1 champion John Edmonds, having lost 5 minutes, has Graham Popellis and Gavin Tarr on his heels, and having negotiated the awkward cabbage tree portage very well indeed, Kevin White takes to the water for the final paddle into the first overnight stop at Dusi Bridge. At times his lead was as great as 8 minutes, but the latter stages of day 1 took its toll on him, and John Edmonds' hard work in order to try and haul back some of that precious time he'd lost gambling on the Sewage Farm portage, enabled Kevin White to have a 4-minute lead as he finished the leader after the first day of the Hunter Dusi.
The unofficial time, 3 hours, 31 minutes.
Low water conditions suit the lighter paddlers, and John Edmonds comes in second place. He's almost 20 kilograms lighter than Kevin White, as is the man in third place, the Dusi King, Graham Popellis.
Minutes 30 seconds, which is about 8 minutes, just on 8 minutes behind.
So the picture after the first day, Kevin White 3.5 hours, John Edmonds 4 minutes down, Popellis 7 3/4 minutes down. Second day, tension for Kevin White, but real tension for Graham Popellis, who discovered a frayed rudder cable as he was just about to put into the water. That rudder cable needed replacing. In the meantime, Kevin White set off in light drizzle and cool conditions on the low river with that 4-minute lead. John Edmonds won the K1 event on 3 occasions, has a lot of work, traditionally not had many good second days, but conditions in his favour this year. Meanwhile, back at the start, the clock was ticking through the elapsed time that Graham